Welcome back. A couple of things right quick. First, thank you all so much for the messages of concern and well wishes regarding the weather we had here the other day. Right here where we are, all we got was plenty of rain and wind, and of course the lightning and thunder. We came to no harm. We're all good on that front. The second thing is that I must have eaten something that sharply disagreed with me because I'm feeling like hammered mud today. So I'm going to be off camera until I do feel better. I have some episodes from previous years that I could patch together with a quote for each day, so that's what I plan to do until I feel better. That said, today we'll look at some what I think are interesting topics that share common threads of trust, legacy, and destiny, so grab your favorite cuppa, sit back, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for May 28th. May 28th is the 148th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 149th in leap years, with 217 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is fiduciary. Fiduciary can be an adjective or a noun. Spoiler alert, as a noun, Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary uses the word fiduciary to describe itself. So let's look a little deeper. First, we'll go with the dictionary definition, which, while probably factual, seemed not that helpful to me. Here's what it said. As an adjective, fiduciary means of, relating to, or involving a confidence or trust, held or founded in trust or confidence, holding in trust, depending on public confidence for value or currency. As a noun, then, it says one that holds a fiduciary relation or acts in a fiduciary capacity. That sort of definition sounds kind of like the answer "because I said so" when a child asks a parent why. So let's look a little deeper. I think most people who are familiar with the word fiduciary think of it in terms of having to do with finances or money. And it does, but it doesn't always have to do just with money. The word fiduciary actually has to do with any situation in which one person places confidence and trust in another and asks that person for help or advice in a matter. This could apply to a financial advisor, a banker, an accountant, an attorney, just to name a few. As a noun, fiduciary would mean the person relied upon in this matter. In other words, the word fiduciary refers to a legal or ethical relationship in which one party, who might be called the fiduciary, is entrusted with the duty to act in the best interest of another party, who would be called the beneficiary. Now, we're talking about a higher level of trust, loyalty, and responsibility, and a couple of example sentences using the word fiduciary might be, it is the financial advisor's fiduciary duty to prioritize their client's financial well-being and make decisions in their best interest. Or, the board of directors has a fiduciary obligation to the company's shareholders. The word fiduciary evolves to us straight from Latin, a word that means to trust. First known use of the word fiduciary is in about the 1630s to 1640s. Fiduciary. And with that, there was a solar eclipse recorded on May 28th in the year 585 BC. Now, you might remember that a solar eclipse occurs when a portion of the Earth is engulfed in a shadow cast by the moon, which fully or partially blocks the sunlight. First of all, I'm impressed that somebody was actually recording such things as eclipses back in 585 BC. But even more impressive is that this particular eclipse had been predicted by the Greek philosopher and scientist Thales. Not only that, but the date of this eclipse has come to be one of the cardinal dates from which other dates can be calculated. This is the birthday of American decathlete, football player, and coach Jim Thorpe, born May 28, 1888. He was a member of the Sac and Fox Nation, where his tribal name meant bright path. How perfectly fitting. Jim Thorpe became the first Native American to win an Olympic gold medal for the United States. Considered one of the most versatile athletes of modern sports, he won gold medals in the 1912 pentathlon and decathlon. And he played American football, collegiate and professional baseball, and basketball. Sadly, his Olympic titles were rescinded after it was found that he had been paid while playing 2 seasons of semi-professional baseball before competing in the Olympics, and was thus found in violation of the amateurism rules that were in place at the time. He passed away in 1953 at the age of 65, and many people found the removal of his Olympic gold medals troubling. In 1983, 30 years after his death, the International Olympic Committee restored his Olympic medals to his living family members. This is the birthday of English journalist and author Ian Fleming, creator of the fictional spy James Bond. Ian Fleming was born on May 28, 1908, and lived to the age of 56. Today's song is When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge. Written by Calvin Lewis and Andrew Wright, this song was first recorded by Percy Sledge in 1966. It's been covered by other artists since then, with Michael Bolton's version in 1991 also achieving #1 status. But today we're talking about Percy Sledge's version. It's always fun to hear a little something about how a song came about, and the story on this one is that Calvin Lewis and Andrew Wright were practicing for a dance they were going to play the coming Friday. Wright said he was just messing around on the organ when this riff came up out of nowhere. He told Calvin to go home and write some words for it. Next night, they rehearsed the song with Percy Sledge, changed it around a little bit. Not long after that, auditioned the song for a local businessman and radio DJ, Quinn Ivey. Mr. Ivey recommended some additional changes to the song for a little more positive message so that it could be recorded, and they recorded it in February of 1966. It was released that spring, and here we are at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on May 28th of 1966 for the first of 2 weeks. When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge. Link in the description. How about that? Trust, legacy, and destiny. Kind of the stuff human history is made of, isn't it? For today's quote, I found one by American novelist, short story writer, and journalist Ernest Hemingway, so well known for his economical, understated style of writing. He said, "The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them." Ernest Hemingway. Trustworthy or not, they'll show themselves soon enough, won't they? Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you as soon as I can. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.